so you still have to do 2 years of ROTC, so I switched from the Army to the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
But the Air Force doesn't have a graduate program, doesn't have a 4-year program.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the Air Force for 2 years, we're actually a year and a half. And now I'm classified 1A and ready to go.
Off you go.
So 1965, there was a lot of resistance to the Vietnam War.
Emerging, or just starting
Just-
to emerge.
But people at UCLA and people, my friends, people I knew, didn't want to go.
Right.
They didn't believe in this war, much like Muhammad Ali a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 3 choices. People went to Canada.
Go to Canada.
People burned their draft card
Mm-hmm.
and became conscientious objectors.
Right.
Or they had another thing called the deferment. You could defer your military service while you continued your education in graduate school. UCLA does not have a graduate school of business. So myself and a group of fraternity brothers decide we have a great idea. We're all going to go to law school. Out of the blue.
Because that seems a very reasonable way of getting out of...
Just deferring. You're not getting out of it. Maybe the war will end during the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the consequences? You have to agree to be drafted to the age of 35. We sign up for the deferred program, myself and 2 of my fraternity brothers, along with a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm.
We have never studied for anything related to law.
Had you watched Perry Mason?
I'd watched Perry Mason. That was
Good.
the extent of it.
That's very good
Yeah.
training, right?
So now how are we going to get into law school? We haven't taken pre-law. We haven't studied for the qualifying test called the LAST.
Mm-hmm.
And so we send out massive applications to 2nd and 3rd rate law schools because we have no chance of getting to UCLA or
Sure.
Bolt Hall or Stanford or USC.
Right.
And we all get accepted to the University of San Diego.
Hmm.
Nice place.
Yeah.
3 of
Good
us.
weather.
Beautiful ocean.
There you go.
3 of us, myself and my 2 fraternity brothers, moved down to San Diego. The first day of class, I get a call from Loyola. Pretty good law school.
Yeah. So
They have 1 seat that opened in the night school. Would I like to take it? Now I don't have to live away from home. I can move back to home. I don't have a lot of money, although I'd been working since I was 13. I always had pocket money because I always worked. I always found some way to make some money. And I said, sorry guys, it's going to be more convenient for me. I can live at home. I can work in the daytime and pay for my school at night. So I come to Loyola for a 4-year night school program. First night I go there, I get a call from the dean. Somebody dropped out of the day school. Would you like to go to day school? Absolutely.
the power of proximity.
Yeah.
Being in
So-
the right place
Yeah.
at the right time.
So I'm the last person admitted to my class.
Just want to back up to one other thing, Bob, because I think it's important. You begin working your work life at age 13.
Yes.
And so it would sound to me like you don't need to be Freud or Einstein to figure out that if you start working at age 13, you develop a work ethic.
And the other thing is this. I mean, my parents didn't have excess money.
Right.
I mean, my mother saved 25 cents a day for 13 years to pay for my bar mitzvah.
Okay, so now we're in Loyola, and you show some aptitude for law?
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
And Bob, though you have no logical explanation for this, do you have some metaphoric explanation that that was destiny? Or who knows?
I don't know. I mean, the caption of a book, if I write another book, will be I never wanted to be a lawyer.
It's a good title.
So,
Okay, so off you go, and now Loyola's a good school, pretty good school.
very good school.
Okay, so you go there, you graduate. Now, what year do you graduate?
I graduate in 1968, so
1968.
I do well in law school.
Yep.
but I exceedingly do well in oral argument. So I win the moot court competition. I later become the Chief Justice of the moot court competition for the next year, which means I get to invite the judges who are going to be sitting on the panel with me,
Right.
judging the next group of
Who do you
oral
invite?
presentation. So one of the judges that I invite is a federal court judge who is quite a colorful figure. His name is Manuel Real. Manny Real.
I think I remember the name.
And he turns out to be one of the toughest judges in the Central District of California.
I think I remember the name.
And he gives me 100 on my oral argument. And just as a cute story, so my first case in federal court is in front of Judge Real.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've got it made.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know that
He's a tough son of a bitch.
he is the toughest judge. And so I'm basically doing state court cases. Now I'm in federal court, and I make an objection. Judge sustains my objection. I said, "Thank you, Your Honor," as I do in court through state court. And the judge looks down at me and says, "Don't thank me. I'm not your friend. I'm not doing this because I like you. I'm doing this because the law requires it. Don't ever do that again, counsel." That's my first experience in federal court.
Wow. I would have said thank you, Your Honor. All right. So now off you go. And now you have the embryonic making of a career, and you're an attorney in Los Angeles, and you're not a dentist. And what happens next in the story?
I don't have any connections to go to a law firm, and I don't know anything about law firms. And so I decide, along with some counseling from the judges on the panel, that I should become a trial lawyer. They think I have the aptitude for that.
The aptitude.
And so I apply for 3 positions in Los Angeles. I apply to be a deputy district attorney, a public defender, or a county counsel. Jobs that are very difficult to get today. In those days,
Less so.
all you had to do was have a bar card.
And
you
fog a
could-
mirror.
Yeah, and you could be a DA if you wanted, you could be a public defender or a
Okay.
county counsel. So I went through the options. County counsel didn't do a lot of work in court. I eliminated them.
Great.
Now we have the public defender and the district attorney, the prosecutor and the defense. In those days, most of the public defenders had long hair, mustaches, and were kind of radical thinking people. I wasn't that way. I
Take
said,
that.
all right, I'm going to try to be a DA. I'll be a prosecutor. And so I joined the LA District Attorney's Office right out of law school in 1969.
69.
I clerked,
Stay there how
for them
long?
for the summer. I stayed there for about 18 months.
Okay.
Got tremendous experience. The regulations were very loose then. Today, they're very much controlled. You have to start at this area and go here and go here and go here. I'm in the district attorney's office for 6 months, and I actually try a murder case in front of a jury.
Wow.
Unheard of.
You're
today.
25, 6 years
Yeah,
old?
26 years old. So I got a lot of experience.
Yep.
And then I get an offer from one of the most well-known criminal lawyers at the time. His name is Harry Weiss, who has this gigantic practice, to join his firm and become a defense lawyer and stay with him for about the next 5 or 6 years. And I become very dedicated to practicing law. I have to make money on my own because I am not getting a real salary. I'm getting less of a salary than I had in the DA's office, which was $1,500 a month.
So that means you didn't work 9 to 5.
What it meant was, for the first 7 years that I was a lawyer, I was in court every day that a courtroom was open. I did not take one day off.
For 7 years.
For 7 years. Because I believed that the only way I was ever going to be successful was, number one, to be in court and get exposure, watch other lawyers who were really good, and see what they were doing that made them successful.
Work tirelessly.
And work, because when I was in court, it would be very rare that I wouldn't leave with another client.
Mm-hmm.